vários tipos de vacina. Daqui a pouco eu explico sobre a questão de vacina, é importantíssimo isso. Nós temos, por exemplo, o Centro de Tecnologia para Energias Renováveis, nesse momento, lá em Campina Grande também, no INSA. Hoje o Brasil também tem um centro de tecnologia de medicamentos, nós temos o EP4, nós temos o Instituto Nacional do Mar, coisa que não tinha há muito tempo. E isso é o seguinte, nós temos esforços isolados de universidades, etc., para pesquisas para oceanos, e para a pesquisa oceânica, por incrível que pareça, olha o tamanho do nosso oceano, né, no litoral todo, nunca teve.
Having the ability to refuel will allow NASA to embark on longer journeys to explore the depths of our solar system. Did you know there's a three-eyed raven currently perched on the International Space Station? Not an actual bird, but rather a technology payload that is helping NASA develop a relative navigation system, or autopilot, for spacecraft. Launched to station in 2017 aboard a SpaceX Dragon on the company's 10th commercial resupply services mission for NASA, and installed on the outside of ISS by station's Dexter robot, Raven is equipped with 3 distinct camera vision systems: visible, infrared, and LiDAR. Combined with NASA-developed software algorithms, this rotating module of technology keeps a weather eye on arriving spacecraft. Raven's head, containing its 3 eyes, or cameras, is always on the swivel, which is made possible by its integral gimbal.
Raven is an on-orbit test bed that was built to mature technologies related to relative navigation sensors and algorithms. Raven was launched to the International Space Station aboard a SpaceX Dragon capsule in February 2017. And it's been operational on the space station since that time. So using 3 different sensors on Raven that are on a movable gimbal platform, Raven can track the incoming visiting vehicle to station all the way from very, very far away, all the way up to where they dock with the space station. So basically, at any given time, Raven can tell you where the incoming visiting vehicle is in space relative to the space station and what attitude or pointing direction it is.
Raven sends the data it collects from tracking and observing incoming spacecraft to its processor or brain, called SpaceCube. This information then tells Raven how it needs to move to continue to track the spacecraft and gauge relative distance and positioning. NASA engineers have taken what they've learned from multiple Raven observations over the years to adjust and fine-tune the relative navigation system as needed, so it's ready for the upcoming on-orbit servicing, assembly, and manufacturing 1 mission, which will robotically refuel a satellite, among other things.
Raven is a sensor system that can image an object, process those images on board in real time with advanced algorithms, then calculate the pose of the object relative to itself.
These factors come together to create something like spacecraft autopilot. Much like a self-driving car can maintain cruise control based on the speed of the vehicle it follows, 2 free-flying spacecraft will be able to dock with one another using this technology. Though this operation is similar to the autonomous docking of visiting spacecraft to station, Raven's unique application is necessary for docking 2 satellites with the challenges of each moving and rotating in every direction during the rendezvous and docking phase.
Using that information to then guide the first spacecraft to autonomously rendezvous with and dock with the second spacecraft. So that means finding it in space, aligning with it appropriately, and then bringing the 2 vehicles together without smashing them into and destroying each of them, all without human intervention.
This capability is the kind of thing you need for docking with spacecraft that were not originally designed to be docked with and serviced, which happens to be a vast majority of them. That's why Raven's time on station is critical for the future of on-orbit servicing, assembly, and manufacturing, or OSAM. The OSAM-1 mission will use Raven's relative navigation capability to autonomously, meaning no humans involved, rendezvous and dock with the satellite, and then telerobotically refuel it. This will be the first time in history a spacecraft not originally designed to be serviced will be refueled as a means to extend its operational life. Raven is also important for future exploration missions.
Raven's technologies can be applied to future NASA missions because if humans want to make a footprint in the solar system beyond low Earth orbit, which is where the International Space Station is located, we're going to have to rely on some form of autonomous docking technologies in the future. Whether it be an unmanned cargo vehicle meeting up in orbit around the moon, refueling tankers located in geosynchronous Earth orbit, or a return vehicle arriving on Mars in advance of a crewed landing, all of these feats will require the technology we're developing with Raven.
Using its 3 eyes, Raven is looking to the moon, Mars, and beyond.
Relying on highly robust autonomous systems becomes more crucial the further you move away from Earth as the communications time increases drastically. Once you move past low Earth orbit, it becomes very impossible for humans on Earth to do these highly complex maneuvers in real time. It's more efficient to allow computers to perform these sequences autonomously without human intervention.
Although Raven has successfully concluded its main mission objectives, it remains on station. Meanwhile, its team on the ground is using what they've learned to develop more never-before-seen technologies that will enable future space exploration.
4, I started digging in that other bag. Here you go. No problem.
If you need to fix something in space that wasn't designed to be fixed, it's going to take all the experience you can get. With that in mind, when the International Space Station's Alpha Magnetic Spectrometer, or AMS, needed repairs, NASA's Johnson Space Center and Goddard Space Flight Center used their joint expertise to make it happen. At Goddard, that expertise resides in NASA's Exploration and In-Space Services Division, or NEXUS, which evolved from the office that was responsible for the Hubble Space Telescope servicing missions. Key to these missions was the development of specialized tools. While you've probably heard of Hubble, you may not be as familiar with AMS, so let's start there. Designed for a 3-year mission of sifting through cosmic ray particles, AMS has been looking for signs of dark matter from its position on station since 2011. Hundreds of researchers have used the data collected to investigate the source of the mysterious substance to help us better understand the origins of the universe. To continue this important data collection, AMS needed an upgrade due to general wear and tear from the harsh environment of space, specifically a new cooling system. A repair could extend its life beyond what was originally planned. Sounds easy enough, right? In fact, due to the instrument's complexity and the fact that it was not designed to be repaired, even gaining access to the system to replace it was difficult. AMS's design did not incorporate the kinds of interfaces that make spacewalks easier, or have the ability to be serviced with traditional multi-purpose tools. And so, over the course of 4 years, NASA got to work designing and developing some of the most complex spacewalks since the Hubble servicing missions in the 90s and early 2000s to fix AMS.
The AMS tools themselves were unique. They were built specifically for this task, a task that was never intended to be performed on a spacewalk. And so that required a lot of thinking about how we were going to get inside so that we could access the tubes that we needed to cut into and then install the new thermal control system, but also how to put handling aids on it so that we had a place to attach our tethers, to attach our foot restraints, to have handholds, have a place to attach equipment that we needed out there.
NASA developed 20 specialized tools to make the job possible, and on November 15, 2019, astronauts Andrew Morgan and Luca Parmitano got to work. On this first spacewalk, astronauts needed to get access. By design, 5 of the tools could be seen floating off into space, attached to the debris shield that was removed to give the astronauts access to the heart of AMS.
The debris shield handling aid was one of the first tools that Luca installed on the EVA, and this gave us a handhold to install on the debris shield to work from, but also a handle for me to hold on to ultimately when we jettisoned it overboard to the aft side of the ISS, which was a lot of fun to do.
The astronauts continued with 3 more spacewalks over the next 2 months, using all of the specially designed tools. One such tool was the Tube Cutting Guide, which was a direct result of multiple practice sessions at Johnson Space Center facilities like the Neutral Buoyancy Lab. While practicing, astronauts communicated the need for a way to identify and verify the correct tubes to cut, since they all look the same to the astronauts' eyes within the spacesuit.
After we had removed the debris shield and the VSB cover, now we have the tubes exposed, and we actually had to cut into those tubes in order to pull out the correct ones to connect with the new thermal control system, the new pump. In order to do that, we had to be very sure of the tubes that we were cutting. These ingenious tube cutting guides installed over the top of the tubes and made sure that we knew and we were communicating correctly with the ground team to make sure that we were cutting the correct tube at the right time.
In January 2020, Luca Parmitano and Drew Morgan completed the fourth and final spacewalk to repair AMS. Because of their work and the ingenuity of tool designers and engineers, the instrument is now back in commission and able to continue to collect data about the origins of our universe for years to come.
People from Goddard and JC spend a lot of time developing these tools with their knowledge and the support of astronauts like Chris Cassidy. And we are very thankful that we were privileged to use those tools and to put them to make successful use. Thank you very much.
Advancing moon mobility for Artemis astronauts, getting ready for the total solar eclipse, and a milestone engine test for our Artemis moon rocket. A few of the stories to tell you about this week at NASA. During an April 3rd news conference at our Johnson Space Center in Houston, we announced Intuitive Machines, Lunar Outpost, and Venturi Astrolab as the companies selected to advance capabilities for a lunar terrain vehicle, or LTV, for future Artemis missions. The LTV will enable Artemis astronauts to travel around the lunar surface while conducting scientific research during the agency's Artemis campaign at the moon to prepare for human missions to Mars. Learn more at nasa.gov/Artemis. The April 8th, 2024 total solar eclipse will take place in parts of Mexico, the United States, and Canada. A total solar eclipse happens when the moon passes between the sun and Earth, completely blocking the face of the sun. NASA has online resources available at go.nasa.gov/eclipse 2024 to help determine when, where, and how to safely view the eclipse. We will host live coverage of the eclipse on NASA Plus, the agency's website, and the NASA app, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. NASA conducted an RS-25 hot fire test April 3rd at our Stennis Space Center near Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. The test marked the completion of a 12-test series to certify production of new RS-25 engines to help power our Space Launch System, or SLS rocket, on future Artemis missions to the moon and beyond, beginning with Artemis 5. A team of astronomers has used our James Webb Space Telescope to survey Messier 82, or M82, a starburst galaxy located 12 million light-years from us. M82 is a relatively compact galaxy, but it has a great deal of star formation activity. For comparison, M82 is sprouting new stars 10 times faster than our Milky Way galaxy. Using Webb to inspect activity in galaxies like these can help astronomers better understand the early universe and the process by which new stars form. That's what's up this week at NASA. For more about what else we're up to, check out nasa.gov.
It's the first word from space before history is made. From landing a man on the moon to assembling the International Space Station, NASA's Johnson Space Center serves as the iconic beginning to some of the greatest moments in American history. Moments that are triumphs of engineering and international cooperation. Today, we are leveraging our past successes to create even more daring missions from the moon. Made possible with the Orion and Gateway programs, which are both orchestrated out of Johnson, the desolate moon will serve as NASA's jump-off point as we journey to unlock the secrets of the universe and understand how it all began. Today, we push forward to the moon. Tomorrow, we leap to greater heights and new destinations. There is history to be made. In Mission Control, we eagerly anticipate the first transmissions from unexplored worlds. Giant leaps start here.
It's a new era of pioneers, star sailors, thinkers, and adventurers.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
Let's go.
We have been given the scientific knowledge, the technical ability, and the material to pursue the exploration of the universe.
De situação física também, né, bidimensional, certo? Ele se reorganiza para aquela. Então ele se organiza como grafeno. Pessoal, isso aqui é um material muito interessante. Só que